Oh yeah, y'all remember Halo Studios? Yeah, me neither. Like ever since the rebrand, they haven't exactly released a fucking game yet. Or, well, I guess there's an online only game in the works, but that's like pre early production, so they don't even really have a concept of a game yet. But see, that's not, well, that's one of the reasons why I'm shitting on this game, this studio, this situation. Another one is, remember when people would hand draw art, like with Blizzard, like with the creators of the Night Elves, and then someone to draw a piece like that would take like years of training, years of experience, like up to about 5 years of training to draw in that specific style. And Blizzard with well, the fucking World of Warcraft had a style. Halo had its own style. Star Wars had its style. Like every Western company back then, like gaming company back then, they weren't even AAA, but every single one of them had their own style that if you look at, you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely World of Warcraft, or yeah, that's definitely Bungie, right? But now a lot of these styles are just sort of getting meshed into this amorphous glob because the artists that used to exist in these companies, they just don't exist, like work there anymore. Or if they do, they have absolutely no say on what the fuck to draw. That's why you get the whole marathon situation where they're literally stealing art. Like Bungie, there's not a single creative person left in that company. But now it seems generative AI is going to start being shoved and hand fisted into gaming. And I guess this is like the final death nail of these companies because they know they don't have creativity. Obviously, they've invested a lot into the AI boost, and a lot of AI companies probably invested back, and now this is definitely something they're going to use because you would think again they had one engine, right? I forgot what it's called, but they poured billions of dollars into creating that engine from the ground up, only to completely get rid of it because it was made by contractors that when they got rid of the contractors, they didn't actually teach their devs how to use the engine, so it just fell off, and now they're going to Unreal 6. And now I'm assuming Unreal 6, right, their big thing is going to be AI pouring some Mountain Dew. Which is why I think you're going to see more of these things coming out from older companies that used to be creative but have no creative bone. They treat their games like just any old product that you can, switch out people that create it, switch out parts, switch out legitimate people that know what the fuck they're doing, that are getting paid to know what the fuck they're doing with generative AI. And by now, you know what my opinion of AI is, right? But my argument in this particular case is this isn't some nobody startup. This isn't some dude in their mom's basement that kind of wants to create something but has no fucking money. This is a multi-million dollar AAA company that, and to my knowledge, a lot of people liked Infinite, even though I didn't. And people thought Infinite was, oh, hey, we're coming back. They're going back at least, or at least they're getting something new, at least in the multiplayer side. But then we find out that that's not the case at all because they haven't touched, like when it released, okay, they had the bare bones, haven't touched it in fucking years. and Forged came out, which got a lot of people back, but a little too late. It had like what 30-ish, 40-ish player retention from what the game initially had, and since then it's just been going downhill. So now we're at this situation where to try to at least have the ability to make a product. Oh yeah, and they're also remaking Halo Combat Evolve, but they already remade it once in the previous engine, and now they're just gonna remake it again. Like, and it's difficult to explain this to people because I say you need to stop remaking games, and people are like, oh, well, I mean, oh, it's smarter than to do. It's like, okay, I get it, I get the marketing idea, but what about the creative idea? Like, why is it that games from Japan, games from China, games from South Korea are blowing Western companies out the water? Like in the Game Awards, 3 out of the 6 nominees were indie games from companies that just came out of nowhere. Why are we incapable of doing that? And okay, remakes is just one thing. Then you realize they shipped out a majority of the programmers and people that actually knew how to use the engine, code the engine, actually work there since the inception are not there. You know, you realize they're moving to generative AI, which, okay, no creativity, I suppose, but then you realize, oh, now they're remaking like every single fucking game that existed in the past. And it's like, why would I play a remake that they're just gonna sell for like $70 if I can just play the old game? Like, I still have Halo 2 on the 360. Why was 2 on the original? I was on the 360. I don't think any of the Halos were on the original. It was on PC. But my point is, there's just no creativity left in these companies. So you're going to get a lot of remakes. You're going to get a lot of AI being shoved in. You're going to get a lot of slop being shoved out. Even if they do try to make something new, it's just the consumer faith in Halo is just gone. Like, there's nothing they can do. Like, they've tried nothing, and they are all out of options. Right? I haven't even read this. I don't even fucking care to read this. Live on Sour Rep Gaming is pointed out. He's the one that pointed out that the first remake of Combat Evolve was happening. Took a drink. Ugh. So yeah, I think it's reliable. Indicates active integration of generative AI in the development process of the new game. And again, I'm not an anti-AI purist. I think there are useful implementations and non-useful implementations. But my thing is always just tell the consumer, right? You know, if you use AI, you guarantee 20% of the consumer base is probably not going to consume the product. It's going to call it slop. But at the end of the day, it's better to let the consumer know at what process you use it and put it on the label if you choose to do so, rather than not doing it. Because there are people that just will not support, like, they make the consumer decision not to support AI, and it's well within their right to do so, even if I disagree, right? It's up to the gamer, up to the consumer, what they want to consume. But again, this isn't a nobody startup. Again, this isn't like one dude. This is an entire studio that made good games. Well, I don't know if 343. I mean, they made the previous. I think Guardians was fine, given Infinite. And didn't this studio also go through a round of layoffs? Like, it laid off a lot of people who actually knew how to fucking chief of staff, Seeing consulting AI full time. Okay, so they're having AI consultants into this bitch. The adoption of AI at Halo Studio doesn't stop there. Reports indicate that other studio leaders, including one of Directive Daniel Price, are actively using AI-driven automation to accelerate workflow and game development. Yeah, you remember when a lot of these companies, like CD Projekt Red and like Naughty Dogs, just went with crunch? You know, they had their developers work like 30, 40, like 50, 60 hour weeks to push out the games. At least at that point, the games were good. But again, I said this once and I said this again. I'm gonna say it again. If you're wanting to invest into AI, now's the thing. Now's the time. Like, I feel like the AI is going to be pinnacle infrastructure for a lot of things. Even if I think in a lot of cases it's sloppifying and shitificating services in games. It's going to come. You know, I can cry about it, but there's no use. I mean, my game's not going to use any fucking AI, so yeah, I mean, I'm supporting artists and the devs, but regardless, it's coming. It's going to happen. You know, the moral panic will soon just disappear. And I wouldn't be surprised if it'd be the norm. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if engines like Unity, like Unreal, decide to use AI because everyone else is doing it. Why wouldn't we? You know, and if you have people that actually can tamper with it to remove artifacts, I mean, right now you can tell artifacts in certain aspects, but again, if you have either a human touch or 5 years down the road, when it's a hell of a lot better, I wouldn't be surprised if you wouldn't even be able to tell. But anyway, F's in the chat for Halo Studios. And I guess that's just about it. Peace.